you just think that it's never playable for the rest of time.
Yeah,
and so the complaints with this one is that the blast zones were too far away from the stage. Everybody lives forever. But Yu's opting to take away Fortress of Lions, which would have been the obvious pick, and leave it open to Spaceport, which is the other single plat map in the roster. And now we've got Yu's going up against Thaiph here for game number 1.
Yeah, and we see Yu's already starting off in a big way with those side airs and nairs. Okay, gets the side light there, and that's not looking so good for Thaiph, who's already starting off with the hammer and kind of struggling. But we see Yu's pick up the orb here, and I'm happy to see the orb, a weapon that can easily compete with some of the whiffs on the hammer. And we see that there with the side light easily picking up a punish on that downlight, but a downlight into down air does find a catch, and now we're in a bad spot for Yu's, but he lands back down, kind of getting aided by the most icy spaceport soft platform moving there, and we pick up another Scythe, and we have the orb online once again. Thaiph getting disarmed, tough spot to be in versus Yu's.
You know, there's a lot of really cool things going on for this Cassidy pick, outside of like the signature kit being very useful in the meta, the weapon combination being very good. Also to think about her high knockup power along with blasters getting so much with the side light as well, and then the high dex. I wonder if I haven't done the math. This is a great first stock from Yu's. I haven't done the math on like how much Cassidy's dexterity affects how easy it is to fall off of a side light. I wonder what silent recovery looks like. These are things that I've really got to investigate now that the weapon's being picked more and more, because we haven't seen much of Cassidy since lands in 2019. I mean, this is really interesting. But Yu so far doing very well against the pick. And like we said, I was kind of curious if the pick will even stick around when Chakram's not there for there to be counterplay to.
Yeah. Exactly. I do know that Blasters gets landing side air, down like side air with 9 dex. So like that is like a combo that's on the table for Thaiph, even playing in the defense stance. Yeah, you get a lot of damage.
That's like 80 damage.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage. I don't know exactly the number, but I do know like you can go for like crazy extended strings on landing side air specifically.
Because that's not even talking about the string that could follow up after the Sair finishes it off, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're just in a bad spot.
That's incredible. Gets the end sig, catches him floating around in the air. That's going to be the first blast of the connect, but Thaiph took a decent amount of damage here in game 1.
Yeah, and early damage is where you want to hit the landing side air, so yeah, that's something to worry about versus Cassidy specifically, and even there, we just see like basic end lights into side airs, and it gets so much damage, or side lights there.
Yeah, that was a really quick. Stacked on top of each other, not risking the downlight. That one will hit. Chase dodges forward for a dare. Wasn't expecting the last hit of that attack to come through, and Thaiph playing a very patient, grounded game here.
Yeah.
Switches over to the hammer.
Boom, boom. Great
Stomp,
pickup.
scoop. Nothing else afterwards. What's Yu's waiting for? Okay, that, I guess. Side sig.
Dash. You see a weapon toss as well. Yu's looking to pick up the orb here. Very consistent KOing tool. And another side air comes out. It won't KO quite yet, but it sets up this great edge guard now. Yu's kind of scouring towards that wall there, but he doesn't go for anything too committal. Another side air comes in. Rinse and repeat. Why not just do it again?
Dare could be pretty good. Yeah,
good
there's
call.
the knockout. Caught him while he's sweating. As awesome as that looks, it's actually not as common as you think. Where like they down air the wall and it bounces off and it gets the spiking knockback. It's pretty hard to execute, so really nicely played by Yu's. As we're up a stock here. Down air, not going to lead into anything else. Let's see what else Thaiph can find. Side light, out of range, and Yu's get some more damage.
He waits out that GC downlight and again dodges through the side air. So it seems like Yu's is really good at punishing when Thaiph is trying to land with buttons or just try to create space. He avoids the end sig there and picks up an orb once again, looking to keep this space in that end light into weapon toss. A classic orb string. So is that nair into recovery. So much damage, and Thaiph struggling to land. Yu's having that high damage on this pick is going to be tough here. Fate is very scary, but that recovery is too. Nice stock from Thaiph, and it's not quite over yet. I've seen Blasters and Hammer rack so much damage on so quickly. I'm
realizing that this is also like the first top 4 appearance of Cassidy where, weapon throw hits.
Oof. GC sides is not enough.
So yeah, and in the past, that would have been called a GC down sig, and that was what I was going to highlight, which is that Cassidy a while ago got an experimental feature that's been graduated, not just part of her kit, where her side sig and down sig got mushed together. So if you do a quick side sig, you get the old behavior. And if you hold the side sig, you get the old down sig, which is that tornado that we saw at the end. And now she's got like a leap forward lasso attack that hits downwards. That's the new Cassidy down sig that we haven't seen yet. And I wonder if Thaiph's got it prepared. We'd have to get to a point where there'd be a situation where that's ready, because so far in that game, Yu's just very calmly and collectively closed out the game with his game plan. I think that looked pretty good for him the entire way through.
Yeah, very dominating like stage presence with the Scythe online, getting like easy pop-ups, sending Thaiph away, holding center stage, playing the grounded state. And then with Orb, very similar, stacking on top of Thaiph when Thaiph is on blasters, getting those Orb end lights. It's hard to like really convert off of that because Orb is very damage dependent and it's kind of inconsistent, but when Use can get it, it does help a lot. You know, he gets end lights and then he gets a dodge read, maybe he gets a nair recovery, and he continues the juggle. And extending that advantage state is kind of the name of the game for Use, and allows him to play a lot slower at times and say, you know, I have the damage lead, I have the neutral lead, you have to approach me.
So back to this stage again. End light into side air, not too much after that. Use took a decent amount of damage. Thaiph does these switches off to the hammer at weird damage ranges to me, where it's like the blasters were doing so good, you got so much damage in. We're not at a point where Stomp Cider's going to knock out yet. Why are we prioritizing this weapon where Use is able to get a lead back from you? So I want to see if he starts changing things up to make me think otherwise. Because so far, it's been a, I'm winning with blasters, switches to hammer, loses.
Yeah, exactly. And we're seeing like Thaiph go for like Stomp and not going for N6, going for like recoveries or like weirder options that I don't really agree with. There we see the N6, which is a great start, and kind of trying to show you why you're picking the hammer here is obviously a great anti-air tool, but Use is playing quite elusive. He's only been hit by a singular hammer move, and he gets his side light into side air off the assist from the Scythe weapon toss, and now Thaiph in a bad spot. The ground pound comes out, very horizontal hitbox, and Use goes up a stock.
And you wouldn't think that Use would go for the ground pound in that situation because he was sweating.
Yeah.
But it's important to note that the orb ground pound, unlike a lot of other weapons, can stall when you release it early.
Yeah.
Because it holds you in the air there. So Use was able to do that, get the connection, had plenty of time to drift to the wall right afterwards, takes the first stock, and gets a neutral light. Side light into, hesitation on that recovery afterwards. Hit the side light, was hoping to go for a read. Does pick up the hammer, though, gets the scoop off the top, so not too much of a blunder, dropping that first knockout confirmed.
Now we have Use picking up an orb once again and utilizing this moving soft platform. It moves quite quickly in terms of how fast the timer takes until it like starts moving again. Use utilizing it very well, making it hard for Thaiph to get any sort of space on the ground. Use tries to get a read on the dodge in. We see the instant side stick there. Nice damage for Thaiph, and obviously a great spot as double exclamation points come out, but no one capitalizes, and Use fights back with an end light, side air, bad spot now. You're getting edge guarded versus orb. You got to be careful.
Yeah, dash is out of the way of that nair.
Ooh, good movement.
Man, Use is really terrifying because there's moments of there's bursts of aggression, and then there's about like 5 or 6 seconds where Use will refuse to throw out an attack, and Thaiph does not really seem to know how to get into the pressure. Even now, where Use is unarmed, I feel like Use has advantage. And so Thaiph on this hammer has to get something started here, whereas Use just needs one more side light to bring it to 2 stocks to 1, and light almost knocking out on its own. Let's see how much he risks in the edge guard here. Not much. He doesn't have to. And hammer off stage is a great way to lose your lead.
I mean, Orb might be one of the best swing second weapons in the game. If you can get nair or end lights or side lights off of whip punishes, they'll start to KO, especially with side light into side air. So you're seeing that Use there. He's like, I'm not going to hit the button first. The first time he does, it's a mix-up in a mix-up there, because usually he waits, he dashes around, and then he throws that side light. He did it on the first beat, and when you condition people that hard, you kind of forget that that option is on the table. We see now a down air from Thaiph, though. Use in a bad spot, but a very aggressive ground pound, not earned in my opinion, and Use will punish it accordingly. Full combo, side light nair, side air, another nair to continue the juggle. Thaiph in a bad spot.
No, doesn't go for the down air. Doesn't go for the down light either way. Went for a side light on the dash through. Use tosses the orb away, gets hit by gravity cancel, D-light recovery. Any more damage from Use at this point, I feel like it's pretty rough. And then, now he's on the hammer. And it's the orb versus hammer has been looking pretty good. We haven't seen Use do too much on the Scythe, though, and Thaiph might be able to get the stock here. Uses gravity cancel down tick for distance, dodges right through Thaiph. Thaiph just was not expecting Use to just jump all the way to the stage. But a solid stomp here could even up the stocks.
Gotta hit this confirmed, though, or maybe an N-sig off of a jump. Use whiff punishing the down light, avoids the side air swing as well. The retaliation gets punished, but the N-sig catches Use end lighting on the platform, potentially supposed to be a drop through nair, but nonetheless, Thaiph forces last stock. Yeah,
you're absolutely right, I think, on that drop through nair. There's no way Use is just end lighting the stage. But he got a good amount of damage before it all happened. There's that D-light side light you were talking about, but I don't think he's got it in his muscle memory to go for D-light side light Sair yet, right? Because D-light side light was always a high dex combo, but now you get that extra bit, and that orb weapon throw will come through in the middle of that recovery. Long game.
Long game, yeah.
Long game. Uses is not taking any risks with the lead, and he's playing in almost like a suffocating play style with how much his gameplay is saying, I'm taking control of center, I've got my weapon matchups, I've got orb versus hammer, I don't have to recklessly jump in all the time, and he is just taking Thaiph out one stock at a time. I mean, it's been really solid play from Hughes. And this is a little bit what I was worried about, right? Where I was like, okay, Thaiph's play has been really great against this Chakram meta, but when you bring Cassidy out against Hughes, are we gonna see anything?
Yeah, it's definitely tough, and I think Hughes is kind of showing what the other playstyle versus a legend like Cassidy, who obviously will outlap you in damage, especially on Hammer, but on high damage orb on Fate, Hughes can really just kind of play that second hit, wait for you to swing, wait for you to do something. He uses the clock really, really well, no pun intended, but that's exactly what he does. He's like, I have a lead and I'm going to hold on to it, and it's very tough for Thaiph to like force initiative. Do you have like tempo? Did you earn reads? Not really when you're not hitting your opponent that much, and Hughes will lean into that for sure.
All right, let's see if he can take a game here. We're back to Mos Eisley Spaceport for game number 3. Sarah's coming through here. Weapon throw comes through, has the hammer. What else is he going to be able to get out of this? Gets a nice side air punish for Hughes, kind of pulling the trigger a little too early. Another punish on the sidelight. Okay, Hughes' game plan might change a bit if the lead's not in his favor, and Thaiph's taking advantage of this. Let's see if he can get the stock lead.
Ooh, another one-up sidelight. So much damage, and now Fate is in KO damage. I mean, we talk a lot about how many hits Split Chakram takes to do damage. Hammer not even close to being the same now. Use one hit away. A downlight, a side air, a downlight into side air will be enough to take it, and that's going to be Thaiph with a stock lead.
Okay, let's see how things change, because Hughes' playstyle, that game plan, completely invalidated if you've got a stock lead. So Hughes is going to take some risks here with the Scythe off stage, and Thaiph looking very solid on the hammer going to game 3. Some end lights are coming through. Another side light into a side air. Okay, that weapon throw was held for a while. Ground pound, no, went for the slide, the downlight instead, which was smart because Thaiph was just waiting to let that recovery rip if Hughes charged an unarmed ground pound in any stretch of the imagination. And now this extra credit's looking pretty tough.
Yeah, I mean, the damage is really, really just racking up for Thaiph here on this extra stock. The sidelight side air, nowhere near enough to KO center stage on Mos Eisley. The down air comes out, but Thaiph avoids the down air, avoids the lethal options, and fights back unarmed downlight into Nair. Even unarmed, having that control and picking up a hammer once again. I was going to talk about Hughes has a lot of experience versus hammer, but right now Thaiph is really working versus his Fate pick.
Whoa, Hughes ends up going way far off the side of the stage, and Thaiph follows. Okay, not going to risk it. I mean, I'm surprised Thaiph did that dash jump forward. Like I get it. He's got center stage. He's pressuring you, but he's not actually pressuring you. It is 3 stocks to 2. He dashed forward into a sidelight side air, giving Hughes the ability to react to that dash. And I'm saying, honestly, when you are fighting somebody who's playing like this, play the same way back.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fine. Like, you don't have to be the one that gives them initiative, because Hughes is just running away with it as a result. His patience just paying off. Thaiph not having any of it.
You got the full string there, side light, or end light, side light, down light, nair, side air, and then you get a downer off the wall, and all of a sudden Hughes is back in the game in terms of damage. A nice five hit string from Hughes on the orb. A side air catches Thaiph jumping, and now you have no dodge. Hughes smells blood in the water, goes for the side light off stage.
Nice
Doesn't hit
throw.
it though. Yeah, very important to break Hughes' momentum. But right now, Hughes, I mean, he kind of throws away some center stage control with that recovery. See if Thaiph can capitalize. Down light, side air. Yes, he does.
Yeah, now he can dip down for recovery. He does try it. Hughes dodges out of the way.
Nice.
Ensig is just gonna, not quite. Ceiling just too high.
Nice avoidance. Goes for the ground pound to punish.
Well, Hughes went all the way to the bottom of the stage. I don't know why he held it that long. He just kept going.
I have no idea either.
Yeah. Well, either way, not too bad of a deficit for Hughes if he wants to get this 3-0. Thaiph looking much stronger here in this other game. Or in this game 3. Weapon throw stuff to recovery into ground pound. I think he did touch the wall, though, but that's going to be it. Hughes evens it up 1-1, and now Hughes' game plan is actually back on the table, and that is the scariest thing for Thaiph, because Thaiph was doing so well with the lead, but getting it against the likes of Hughes was so difficult to do in the first place.
Yeah. Some high dex blasters might be in order here to get some damage. Dash up side. Light doesn't get anything. Neither does that down air. Hughes is respecting the landings. He's respecting the hitting buttons out of disadvantage very well and getting big, not big punishes, but some punishes. And it's good. Fate has high damage. You're going to be able to get that damage racked up even with a 1 and 2 hits.
Would have liked to have seen a downlight after that landing side air. Switches over to the hammer. Good dodges coming out from Hughes. And the dodge away read. That's 5 strong hits coming out from Hughes. Dash forward, dash back. He's going to wait for another one. And Thaiph once again pulling the trigger, stomps forward, gets down and away, but that one's going to hit. Nair, another Nair could come through. These damage, the hits from the hammer are not equal to the hits from the scythe. You can even things up very quickly. But now uses over to the weapon that he wants to finish the game on with his edge guard. Sidelight side air near the edge. Okay, Hughes goes all the way out to test the hammer.
You might be able to live one more. No, you don't. Yuz takes it, and with that, he takes the 3-0 and moves on to Grand Finals, which means Yuz is one of your South America representatives for the Spring Royale. Congratulations to Yuz. Obviously, the tournament's not over, but it's still a big deal. Yuz returning to his throne, PR #1, BCX champion, 2-time BCX 1v1 champion, and now South America can be like, yeah, we got a great rep coming into the Royale.
Yeah.